Welcome to the third round of the 2023 GR Cup, Zwartkops Raceway as part of the National Extreme Festival. It's great to be back in Pretoria and getting back behind the wheel of the car. It's been a long 8 weeks. Last round was at Killarney, but we're back at Zwartkops. And this one is going to be exciting. It's the first time we're doing the National Series here at Zwartkops, and the GR Cup is in full force. Today is free practice, practice day Friday, the 19th of May. And we've taken the car out. We've been out for one practice. We pretty much swept the track and got rid of a lot of the dew. And it did rain last night, so the track has been green. But I ran a really good time, first time out today, after a long absence. The sim work has really helped the confidence levels, and I think the confidence is just building as I get accustomed to the car and the racing. So, join me on the journey. We're going to run through a race weekend here as part of the National Extreme Festival with Toyota Gazoo Racing and the GR Cup.
What's up, dude?
How are we doing?
Lekker.
How was practice one?
Wet, slippery when wet. But my car had a bit of a niggle. Gearbox was changing up by itself, what. So they've reset my car, it's now right.
They don't usually do that.
They don't usually do that, but it's also excuses because your time is like 4.5 seconds faster than mine, so we'll get there.
It wasn't a bad practice, I'm going to put it that way.
Yeah. No, not all of us had as good a practice as you did. So so Mark and I are going to go and buy Sims now.
If
Even me.
Hi Dennis, hi Maud.
Hello.
Hi Ruben.
Hi, Mora.
If you guys recall, this happened in Killarney as well, where I did quite alright during practice one, and then everybody just engulfed me.
You did put it on pole.
Yeah, and we were all separated by half a second.
You do like the slippery conditions, though.
The slippery, yeah, I suppose.
He's good at slippery when wet.
Holy shit! Yes! In case you didn't know, practice days happen on Fridays, so it is a regular sort of work day. So I had to run away from the track. That's why you're catching me in a car vlog. It was a great practice day though. In the morning, the track was very green. It's rained the night before, and there wasn't a lot of rubber down. there was standing water in a couple of corners. The track was just greasy, and went out and posted the quickest time. So fantastic, great work there. Second practice, I knew the guys were going to close on me, and rightfully so they did, and I posted the third quickest time. But I dipped into the 14s, which was power. That's great. Fantastic improvement from the 15.1 that I ran in that first practice session. Watched a little bit of the drifting, you know, socialized a little bit, ran over some of the telemetry that we've got from the Garmin catalysts that we run in the car, and poked and prodded a little bit and did a little bit of thinking as to where I could improve. And I wanted to just run consistent in practice 3. It is practice, it isn't qualifying, it isn't a race, but I did pretty well. I did very well, in fact. And I ran a 13.9, which is one of the fastest times that I've seen out of one of these cars. So that's great, and I'm really chuffed with that. It is the fastest of the group in practice. So I'm standing really pretty for tomorrow. We're just going to have to see if I can translate that into a qualifying. And of course, from qualifying, I need to go into race. And racecraft is totally different to posting just a fast time. So I've got my work cut out for me. No two ways about it, but I'm feeling good. The car feels great. The Dunlop tires feel amazing. Those Ferodo and Power Brake brakes are just, I'm really leaning on them, and it's great. And the nice thing is I'm the only one that's run that 13.9. The other guys are still sitting in the 14s. So I've managed to get a slight psychological advantage on them going into the actual race. All right, let's get to race day. Bright and early, it is Saturday, 20th of May. We're down at Zwartkops Raceway. Listen to the sound of the cold starter of these GR 86s. Third round of the GR Cup for us. We're out here at Zwartkops Raceway. It's nice and fresh, but the skies are clear, so we're up for a cracking day here. Practice went really well, as I would have just mentioned. But now it's race day. Now this is where it counts. So I'm hoping to translate everything that happened yesterday into something that's actually tangible and something that I can actually use for today. And that includes a pole and podium positions. I'm hungry. I want the win. I want to win. I want my first circuit racing win. I really do. And I think I've got it in me. I think the field competitive enough, and I feel I'm competitive enough in the field. So the confidence levels are nice. They're high. Let's give it horns. Qualifying went really well. Now, I didn't take pole position, so unfortunately I haven't. Overnight somewhere, Sachaba found 0.2 of a second. Where he found that, I have no idea. But I ran a 13.9 in qualifying as well, and that's good enough for the front row. There's 900ths of a second between Sachaba and myself. He's on pole. I need to follow up. Yeah, I don't have an optimal line into the first corner, so the first race is going to be very challenging. Going to have to get the elbows out, going to have to defend really nicely, but the car is feeling amazing. The car feels absolutely fantastic. The brakes, the tires, just everything about it. I really loved the cool air this morning, despite the fact that the track was cold. The cold air just really allowed the car to perform excellently. So, feeling good, feeling confident, but cautiously nervous at the same time. So let's see how this one goes.
Gazoo Racing is part and parcel of this one. In the background, you're going to see a huge amount of 86s in there as well. Those aren't the official pace cars that are provided by our long-time sponsor here at Zwartkops Pretoria Toyota. But these are, of course, the Gazoo racing ones. And in these cars are some of the finest journalists in the country, including, of course, Sichaba Mashigo, who set the pace yesterday and put it on pole ahead of Chad Lückhoff and Brendan Staniforth. Mark Jones and Dennis Dropper, then it's Ruben van Niekerk and John Thompson bringing up the rear end of the field as they head down towards turn 4 for the first time in the 86 League. Inside line there from the man from the Citizens, Mark Jones, just getting through there, I think, on Chad Lückhoff. Lückhoff tripping back slightly. Could be the second of those cars. That might be actually either Brendan Staniforth or Ruben van Niekerk as they're putting the pressure on and diving up the inside there. You can see a little bit of pressure coming from the 7.5 car there of Ruben van Niekerk. So some chopping and changing happening in the Yaris League, chopping and changing happening down here in the 86 League as well. Mark Jones, the 23 car in turn 1 and running right to the outside of the track. Stuck out front though, Sichaba Mashigo hangs onto the lead ahead of Lückhoff at the moment, and then Staniforth just behind that, so trying to stay there with the back end of Chad Lückhoff as they started things out here for the Yaris and 86 League in Gazoo Racing. Championship, but now they are starting to bang bars there and starting to bang cars, never mind bars. Brilliant stuff there from the front end of the 86 League, and you can see things starting to heat up there as well. 777 leads out, that's Mashigo. He's got Lückhoff on his tail, and Lückhoff pushing hard there to try and stay just ahead of Dennis Dropper. Dropper's now joined the party into third. So Dennis Dropper had a great outing in Cape Town as he debuted in his Sunday Times car, but now is having to do some work to try and stay with the top two. In the AutoTrader car, trying to find a way through and get onto the back end now and try and find a way past the man who leads things out at this stage. Sichaba Mashigo is doing an amazing job in the front end of 86. For the back, watching the 86s come across the line. Bit of a gap opening up now between the top two and third place. Dropper with the purple wing mirrors and purple side wing of the back tailpiece there. That's the differentiating factor in these cars, other than possibly a slightly different livery. They've all gone red, grey, black and white. And you can see the Times Live man just losing out some time there and dropping by the wayside. And the top two now getting away. Fun and games at this stage of the day. And some real great racing between the 86s as well as the Yaris League. Mashigo trying to hang on for now. He is having to work double time to keep out Chad Lückhoff. Lückhoff was one of the quickest drivers yesterday. Didn't quite get the fastest time of the day though, but he was both him and Mashigo were looking to try and get into the 13s, and both of them did. So that's exactly what they need to do. So this 86 League has opened up into two races. It's the top three that are through turn 4 and heading up towards the AMG Driving Academy and to Gazoo Racing. And you can see defensive driving now coming from Mashigo. Into what is 6th place across the line. Here we go, we've got to change up the lead. Oh, Chad Lückhoff is out of shape! Lückhoff catches it, does he? Yes, he does. Only just, but it's going to allow around the outside. There you have it. Inside line from Dropper. Dropper's got the inside line now. Can he hang on to it? Yes, he can. Great move there from him as he comes into turn 8. And it's a change-up of note there. Who was expecting that? Not us. And across the line, Sachaba Mashigo takes the win. So Mashigo hangs on for the win. He comes through to beat out Dennis Dropper and Chad Lückhoff, who taken the lead into turn 5. Just locked it up and got it sideways coming out of turn 6 and just couldn't hang on to it.
Bora, what did they do to your car, dude? What did they do to your cars?
Bumper cars gespeel.
Ay. Oh, one of the head mechanics. We take a look at Ruben's car. Ah, man. So the story goes, we didn't see this, but the story goes that, well, there just wasn't enough space for 2 cars through turn 2. And these two rubbed each other up. Paint trading. Hey, Mark Jones has got white walls. Look at that. Well, it's white and red walls now. But yeah, car's looking a little worse for wear. Whoopsie. Man, oh man. That is probably the best fun that I've ever had in a car. That was an absolutely cracking race. Started out nice and strong. There was a little bit of confusion at the start, but I managed to slot into second place, hold second place, and stay on Sachaba all the way through. All the way, 7 laps, just waiting for him to make a mistake. But the man just doesn't make a mistake. He's so consistent. Actually love sharing a track with him. It's fantastic. But last lap, 9th lap of the race in total, 8th lap of the race, and going through 1, he had a bit of a bad exit, and going into 2, I managed to dive him down the inside, and that was it. I managed to take the lead. Held him off 3, 4, 5, but that's when the wheels fell off. I went a little too hot into 6, a little dab of left foot, get the car to rotated, but then rotated too much. And I ended up with this big slide coming out of 6, and Sachaba was so hot on my heels that he just dived down the right-hand side. He took the lead away from me, and summarily Dennis, who was also hot on my heels, he just bombed me on the left-hand side going into 8, and that was it. That was my race. I finished up in 3rd. That's not bad. It's a podium for the first race, but I need to keep it together because it's the combined results of Heat 1 and Heat 2. So let's decompress. Let's enjoy a little bit of downtime and get our head in the game for race number 2.
And before we get into race 2 action, let's catch up with some of our journalists and see what their antics are going to be like before race 1. We saw what they were like, but maybe there's a bit more in it now for race 2. Wow, it's great to be back at Zwartkops, isn't it, Jets? And I'm sure this is another chance for you guys to go and show exactly what these 86s can do. Rubes, you had a bit of a tough time of it at the start. Means kind of at the back there trying to find your way to the front. What's the plans for this weekend to get to the front?
Yeah, I don't know. Like you say, struggling a little bit with the pace, but I'm about a 0.3 off Mark Jones there. But yeah, I'm going to have to dial it back a bit from Cape Town. The guys weren't so happy with my aggressive moves, so I'm going to have to see how I can get to the front a bit more cleanly, and hopefully, you know, they kind of get tangled in each other and let me come to them and join the fight there.
Well, if we look at the current times, Chad, you don't have to worry about anyone. You're literally blitzing this field.
I haven't seen the other times, but I saw it. We've got. Well, I haven't seen everybody else this time. I saw my time, and it was a bit of a target for myself. I wanted to crack that 13, and I successfully managed it. It took a couple laps, but I managed to get there. And the fact that I've done it once means that I can do it again. Hopefully in qualifying, although Track Evolution has allowed for us to lean on it considerably more. This morning things were very greasy. We weren't running anywhere near the times that we could have run. But as the day has progressed and rubber's been laid down and the moisture's been pulled out of the track, it's definitely prime for the picking.
Brad, you're looking forward to that picking as well and maybe getting there too?
I am. So the big thing for me is I just don't want to be at the back. So managing, hanging around 3rd, 4th in the midfield means you're in it. So the guys ahead of you can feed them into you, and then you can start putting pressure on. So the aim for me, looking at Chad's time and Sachawa's times, those boys have sick, blistering times. So let's hope for a 2nd, 3rd in qualifying, 3rd, maybe 4th in qualifying tomorrow. And then, as Ruben says, we just feed each other into each other. But I reckon it's going to be, we've all come to grips with the car. We're managing to lean on the car a lot more than in the beginning. So you're concentrating less on holy shit moments, and you're just managing to drive the car. So it's actually developing well. I mean, the times we're doing now are yards ahead of the last time we were. Yes, I think we're really nearly 2 seconds up the road, which is great.
looking for the journalists to get off the line as well. They are led out by Chad Lückhoff and Sechaba Mashigo. Mashigo, of course, is the first man to take a victory today for the journalist side of things, but it was a tight battle between Lückhoff and Dennis Dropper and himself heading into the closing stages of that first heat. And in fact, on the last lap, there was already 3 or 4 position changes for the lead heading into the last corner out front. And as you can see from this, and as you saw earlier on from, of course, our action in the GDCs, the Gazoo Racing team are having a spectacular day here, that is for sure. Heading down into the Yaris, from the Yaris pack into the 86 pack, and at this stage, just a bit of fun and games at the front end as Dropper continues to apply the pressure onto Lückhoff and onto Mashigo. Lückhoff leads out at the moment, Mashigo in second, Dropper in third. Mark Jones under a bit of pressure as they go into, oh no, he's putting the pressure on, I should say. Putting the pressure onto the inside line there of Ruben van Niekerk. Van Niekerk might have to give up that one, he does. He tucks in behind Jonesy. And then behind that, Brendan Staniforth and Thompson going at it. So some fun and games between the top 2 and the bottom 2. Nike at the back of the pack, but Berthold there in 4th place. Just not able to bridge that gap there to the third car. If you can just get to that third car, we'll probably have a 4-way fight for what is the lead of this race by the time the checkered flag comes out. So into the top of the hill, late braking coming out of Mashigo, trying to find a way through there on Lückhoff. Lückhoff dictating the pace there for AutoTrader. It's a really nice battle there. You can see all of a sudden now, slowly but surely, we are getting a little bit more intention shown from Dropper. Dropper took his time in the first one. He only got through right in the closing stages. In fact, as they came down the hill here into turn 8, he dived on the inside and slotted up 1 place higher than what he'd been all race long. Opportunistic driving coming from Dennis, but looking for more of that here into race 2, and he's a bit more aggressive here in race number 2, that is for sure. So he's applying the pressure onto the back end. Mashigo forces a small mistake there out of Chad. In fact, I think Chad made that mistake all on his own. He went in turn 2 a little bit too hot. They're not all-wheel drive, so the rear-wheel drive machines have to do a little bit more fun and games, and that provides a spectator-friendly environment that our media team are providing for us in terms of action. And there you see a change up for the lead and for second. Oh, Lückhoff making a big mistake there. Drops down to 3rd place. So that boxer engine not quite firing on all 4 cylinders there as he went into turn number 7, but Lückhoff now has to try and come back, and if he watches his rearview mirrors, he's been joined there rapidly by the back end by Mark Jones from the Citizen. So we got ASMM out front, then you got the times live, and it's AutoTrader fighting with the Citizen for the first 4 in the 86 league. We also got to see, of course, at the hill climb, if you managed to pick up on the action at the hill climb, the launch of Gazoo Racing's Corolla, which Natyam Samanga piloted up the hill. It was superb to see that as well, and of course that just bodes well that there's now another stepping stone that the Gazoo Racing squad have provided here in terms of these GR Cup cars. Dropper in second, Lückhoff in third, and Mashigo looking for a second victory. This is a good run here from Sechaba Mashigo. He's had a super run so far in this category since its inception, but definitely now looking for a double victory for the first time as Mashigo heads into turn 1 with 2 to go. Can Chad Lückhoff find something special on these last 2 laps to return the favor on both those drivers who stole his first place away from him heading into turn 7? Be interesting to see whether he can or he can't. I'm looking forward to it though. What a good run there from the Yaris League. Oh, problems in the background. That's Dropper. Dropper's run wide at the top of the hill. So it's going to be Sechaba Mashigo going to hang on for the win. Chad Lückhoff will get second. That's Mark Jones possibly up now into third. ASMM machine going across the line there. Mashigo wins out. Second place, it's Lückhoff. problem there as well at the top of the hill for one of the cars. That's Dropper. Dropper's got a problem. So Dennis Dropper just circulating very slowly. Probably going to roll into pit lane there for the Times Live car. That is such a pity to lose him. Maybe got a puncture by the looks of it. Look at the front left. Front left wheel is broken on that car. So unfortunately that might be a bit more expensive than what Dennis Dropper was expecting here in race number 2. Needless to say though, what a great run here from all of our Yaris League and 86 League competitors.
I don't think I've ever had this much fun in a car. I set myself 2 goals for the weekend. One, to run a quick time of 14, and I did even better than that and ran those 13.9, so I'm really proud of that. Then I also wanted to finish on the podium, and my 3rd and 2nd position placing means that I finished 2nd overall for the day. I got first piece of tin top circuit racing silverware, stood on the podium, absolutely fantastic. So stoked with that performance. But it's bittersweet because I know that there's room for improvement. I held the lead in the 2 heats on 2 separate occasions and I lost it both times. This just means that there's room for improvement in terms of my racecraft. I need to learn to defend better. I need to learn to be a little more aggressive and a little more confident in the way that I position the vehicle on the track. That can be done, and I'm hoping to take this into the next round, the 4th round, which is happening on the 17th of June at Gqeberha, Aldo Scribante circuit. I'm hoping to get those elbows out, and I want that win. I really do.
Search AutoTrader.